Welcome to another Q&A from the Dice Tower. I am Camilla Cleghorn, and I'll be with you this afternoon for about an hour or so, taking questions in the chat and hopefully getting to know you some. Let's see, it's kind of a quiet day around the office today. We got some stuff going on that hopefully you'll hear about later this week that we'll be able to share with you. So yeah, let's kind of check out here in the chat and see what's going on. Welcome Loopy. Good to see you again. All right. Let's see. So yeah, if you have any questions, throw that in the chat. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Chris Yee. We welcome you to the Dice Tower as well. Yeah, so we're getting ready. It's kind of a quiet time around the office. Like we said, we are kind of getting ready for our Kickstarter. A lot of hard work going in on that, which, plug here for that next week, next Tuesday, I believe, that goes live. So look out for that. Come support us there as well. We would really appreciate it. So, all right, let's see. Haha. Oh, chat's going too quick. Nick, how do you like the moniker Kill Milla? It resonates. I'm not gonna lie. I endorse it. It's fun. I think it's neat. See. Jason, here we go. Have you overcome the initial awe of working with a national treasure? Do you ever overcome that? The initial awe? I guess so. I don't know. I don't tend to be one that gets super starstruck to begin with. I think people are people, and they ought to have a chance to get to know you in person, and so it's been really neat. It's been a fun experience. I don't mean to demean it or devalue it at all. It's been really eye-opening and exciting. And it's been really fun to get to know everybody personally. So the initial awe, no, it definitely still hits me sometimes. When I get a text message, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so-and-so's phone number. They have mine. There's still little geek moments like that. But for the most part, I'm settling in. I'm settling in. Always happy to be here. All right. Michael, what do you do at the Dice Tower?
Really quick, you can click on the
I can click
the question that
yep.
pops up and
drag it up. Oh, oops, two-finger drag. Oh, nope. You're leading me astray, Chris. Oh, I single click it. All right, Chris is trying to help me and leading me astray. Blame him. You know nothing. That was evident. All right, let's see. What do I do at the Dice Tower? I kind of do a little bit of everything. I handle a lot of the shipping, kind of behind the scenes work. It's interesting, coming in here, it looks like, oh, we just make videos all day, right? And we just have fun and we goof off, and there's plenty of that, of course, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work as well. Like I talked about our upcoming Kickstarter next week, there's hours and hours, like everyone's kind of all hands on deck going in on that and trying to organize it and design it and proofing it and that kind of stuff. So I kind of piddle in a couple different things. Shipping, helping with just the various admin work, I'll have a hand in the upcoming conventions and retreats and things like that. So a little bit of everything, but nothing specific, Yeah, all other duties is assigned. That's what we'll say. Let's see. Jenway, glad you're part of the crew. Thank you. I am very excited to be here. Oh, let's see. John, what music do you listen to? Favorite bands? I am one of those that I truly listen to a whole spectrum of things. I try to kind of fit the music to my mood at the time. If I'm working, I have a lot of soundtracks going on. I love the way, I say soundtracks, more like movie scores. I love the way movie scores build, and I think they really kind of feed into the work atmosphere, when I'm working. So a lot of times I'll have my headphones in and I'm listening to something like that. But then if I'm in the car, it can be anything. Sometimes it's opera, sometimes it's 80s punk or 80s rock, sometimes it's early 2000s punk rock, it's a huge spectrum of what I listen to. I'm one of those that'll throw on Apple Music, and if I like something, I thumb it up and add it to a playlist that I'll run through at some time, So I can't really nail it down. Favorite bands, again, what genre? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm pretty general. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Wrong button. Oh, Chrissy, what does your family think of your new job? My husband is like the most supportive person. He really is pretty incredible. He's, as long as I'm happy, he's happy, you know, and just fully supportive. So he thinks it's cool. He's kind of seeing me fall into something. In moving down here, I gave up a job that I absolutely loved, you know, what I always called my dream job. And so that was really hard. So moving down here, I did not move down here for the job. So moving down here and then getting to know the Dice Tower, becoming star of their play group, and then, you know, having this job opportunity, it was like finding my new dream job, you know. And so he's just happy that I'm happy. My son is definitely, we talked about the, you know, the international fame. He's still definitely a little bit starstruck. So so that's fun. So my son is 9, and he thinks it's super cool, and he's pretty sure I'm famous, but in our own little microcosm, maybe, but not yet. How did I get into board games? I got into board games in the last place we lived, a couple friends, in talking one night over dinner or something like that, we both kind of discovered that we had played Pandemic at some point, and so we're like, hey, let's play this game together, and that just kind of led to a rabbit hole. So it was definitely not during Pandemic, the game, you know, it's big heyday. It was actually probably only about 3 years ago, so pretty recently, and it just led into this beautiful black hole, you know, of board games, you know, that you get sucked into. So it's been a fun adventure, a lot of fun. But through Pandemic, through just some conversation, as like get to know you conversation, like, oh, you have that game, I played that game before, you know, and it's like, let's look into this together. There's got to be something else like that, you know. So yeah, kind of fell into it. What hobbies do you have besides board games? I am an avid lover of anything water, you know, whether it's swimming, whether it's kayaking. I grew up water skiing. If it's water involved, I'm most likely in. I love everything water. I love outdoors, so also hiking. I'm into running. If you see a theme here, I'm active. I just like to active. I don't sit still very well. You know, my mind and body is definitely kind of always on the go. So a lot of reading. That's probably my most stationary hobby outside of board gaming. But yeah, anything outdoors, anything active, and if it involves water, I'm absolutely there. Let's see. Oh, David. How do I feel about pretzels with ice cream? Oh, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. Either pretzels with ice cream or French fries with ice cream, any of that salty sweet. I love it. I'm not a real sweet person. Not speaking about my personality, of course. I am ever sweet, as you'll see in most of the live plays. But no, I love that salty sweet combination. So definitely a pretzels or even French fries, you know, in the ice cream kind of girl. And what is the oddest ice cream flavor you've had? Ooh, man. I had a fire and ice cream one time, which was mint and jalapeno. So it had that like real spice, and then later had the mint flavor. It was interesting. I don't know if I could say I liked it or disliked it. It was confusing. It left me confused. Let's see. All right, so a couple questions that are kind of similar here. What's your favorite, oh, I guess they're a little bit different. What's your favorite genre in games? In genre, let's see, depends on, are you talking genre like, you know, Euros or Ameritrash, you know, family weight, you know, that kind of stuff? That's really an interesting question. I think I'm and it's hard because, like I said, I'm coming from a play group where we kind of discovered this together, you know, and then that kind of not defined my taste, but that's what worked with the group, you know, so not a lot of area to explore your own taste, you know, so it's really been probably only like in the last 6 months or so that I've really been nailing down like what is my taste. I really like cooperative games, and if I like cooperative, I want them hard and I want them really crunchy and deep, or highly thematic. But then I prefer Euro mechanics or mechanisms, but then I want a theme. If I had to, I think, describe kind of, I guess this isn't quite your question, you used to talk more about the genre, but more how would I define myself as a gamer? It's more of an experience gamer. You know, I want an experience. I want something that I'm gonna walk away from and be like, that was so cool, or oh, that really tried. That was really difficult. That was really interesting. I really, that all came down to this one die roll, or oh, this one mechanism was really new and fresh. But I'm looking for some experience, whether that's theme integration, new mechanism, something like that. So genre, again, I'm kind of, I think, still weaseling down, and I like a lot of different things. I'm pretty much open to try anything most of the time, except for economic games. I lie. I've not yet found an economic game that I like, but I'll try. Let's see. Oh man, Big G. You're stuck in the wilderness like Tom Hanks in Castaways. You have the components of one board game to help you with your survival. Which game do you choose? I'm going to think on that one. I'll come back. I won't forget. Most likely. I'm going to come back. Let me think on that one. Let's see. Will I be getting a Dice Tower tattoo as well? Never say never, but not right now. What game got me into the hobby? Again, I guess pandemic. It went pandemic, and then again, we kind of liked, we like this idea of it's cooperative, and you play against the game. So that led us to Betrayal at House on the Hill, and that led us to Robinson Crusoe, which then kind of opened the doorway, I guess. So kind of those three games I kind of discovered. I knew Pandemic before, but hadn't explored it much until that game group, and it really just, opened the doors from there. Monica, how are you with with print and play games? Let's see, I played a couple of them. It's something that I have just recently kind of started looking into. I think I printed one that was available through a Kickstarter, so you could try out the game, before you backed it, and that was a lot of fun. That's probably the most intricate one I did, and I really enjoyed that one. I have a couple channels that I follow and that kind of stuff that have a lot of print and play games. That I found interesting, and I've printed out 2 or 3 of them. A lot of times they're like roll and writes or something like that. That doesn't take a lot of effort for me to actually build, but that's just, again, by nature of this job, having access to so many games and stuff. But I love, I think, more more roll and write print and plays. Things that I just keep by my bedside. That's like one die and one sheet of paper, something like that. I have quite a few of those that are really my go-tos. See. Let's see, I'm pretty far behind in the chat here. Oh, that's just funny. David, again, how do I like the dice character? I love this dice character so much. In fact, this is still just my temporary one, and I've been told not to worry because Tina is a master magician, and will come up with something very, very suited to my personality. But there is that little piece of me that's like, well, what if I like this one more because it has a hatchet, and I do love hatchets. So, I don't know. We'll see. I can't wait to get my new one though, or my permanent one. Once that's done, and I hope it's as good as this one. I've been assured that she'll work some magic though, and it'll be good. Ooh. Who's the Dice Tower crew you most enjoy destroying in games? Gosh, most enjoy? Well, I can't say Roy because I've never beat him. Roy's like a master at games. That'll be a good day. That'll be a pretty good feeling if I can ever beat Roy. Of course, I'll be very humble and gracious about it as I often am. But who do I most enjoy? I don't know that I can really say I enjoy destroying anyone specifically in games. Again, it's just all about the experience. To me, win or lose, it's just what did the experience bring. Sometimes even some of my worst loses are the most iconic. So yeah, I don't know that I enjoy destroying anybody. I just love destruction. Let's see. Did you move far away to work in Florida? No, I actually didn't move down here for the job. We moved down here for my husband's job. So I quit my job and moved down here without a job, and had no idea what I was gonna get into. Did some teleworking for a while. That wasn't really working out, and then this opportunity presented itself that was just too good to say no, right? So yeah, I actually moved from Maryland. And what did I do before the Dice Tower? I was actually the head coach of a competitive swim team. So I was a competitive coach for 6 years, 4 of which I was the head coach of a team up in the Maryland area. Will you be doing a top 50, 100 games list? Stay tuned. What's your favorite part of working at the Dice Tower? I think my favorite part is just feeling Tom is really good at creating a community of people. I'm sure you guys see that in the chat and the Facebook page and that kind of stuff. He really is just really good at creating this community and just making you feel like you have a place. Even the lowest person on the totem pole, has a place here. And I really appreciate that. I think that's really admirable. And I think just every day you feel like you walk in and you have a purpose. And I really, really enjoy that. It's very fulfilling, it's very fun, it's very comfortable. I think a lot of times I've definitely been in those jobs where I'm not, you walk in, it's just like, oh, what's on the table today? But that's the thing, it keeps me on my toes. I never know exactly how the day is gonna go. You come in with a plan and that kind of stuff, but any moment, somebody can, hey, can I borrow a warm body for this intro? Or hey, let me run this idea by you. Or hey, how about this top 10? Will you start putting this together? So your days are very malleable. And so it just keeps you on your toes, but at the same time, you always feel like you're part of something, and it really is a community here. And I think that's my favorite part is like the excitement coming to work every day and the fulfillment leaving. You really can't beat that. All right, I am super far behind. Let's see. Oh, name one band that you like. Metallica. I went to a Metallica concert. Funny enough, that was probably the last concert I went to in like 2004 or 5. So yeah, there you go, Metallica. How about that? Nick, I'm embarrassed to say it is still up, and it'll probably be up until my husband or son take it down. We'll say super festive like that. Definitely not lazy. We'll just say super festive. All right, let's see. Ooh, Monica, swimming. Yeah, another swimmer perhaps? That means I'm really far behind. Here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. What styles of swim do you like best? So me personal, I was a mid-D swimmer, and you're a competitive swimmer as well. So I was a mid-D swimmer. I loved like the 200, the 500, but then I also really enjoyed fly. So personally, I was a flyer, and then that mid-D, and I think that's probably my favorite to coach as well. Of course, but I love coaching long distance. I think just getting into that mental game of swimming, and where yes, it's about the finesse of swimming and really getting into the strokes and honing in on that, but it's also about the mental game. Like your mental game has to be incredible in order to maintain that and to really take control of your swimming, and I love it. So definitely prefer coaching mid-D to distance swims, and butterfly is just gorgeous. And again, as a butterfly, as a flyer, that's always fun to see. I think fly's also one of those that you can see such quick progress. It's so technical, and I'm geeking out right now. So I'll move on, but yes, so that's awesome. Keep up. I love swimming. Oh, this is funny. I had a feeling something like this would come up. What are your top 3 movies of all time? So I don't watch many movies. Again, I said I'm very, very active. Movies are very few and far between. And by that, I mean, I probably watch 2 kids movies a year, like family movies a year, because my family ropes me into it. And a movie I actually choose, like seek out to watch, is probably one every 3 years. So coming up with the top 3 movies of all time, I would be hard pressed to even come up with 3 movies off the top of my head that like were memorable to me, which I know is blasphemous to some of you, but we each have our thing, right? My favorite dessert. Well, you can't work at the Dice Tower and not like key lime pie. That wasn't exactly a interview question, but I'm pretty sure it was implied because we did have pie day before I was offered the job. So, but my favorite dessert, I really like warm cookie with ice cream on it. That's probably my favorite, my go-to. I mean, unless you count cotton candy, but I don't count that as a dessert. I think that's just a food that you should have in your life always. So yeah, we'll go with, I guess, a Pizookie. Ooh, what's my favorite thing at Taco Bell? I'm pretty basic, probably just a soft taco or a chalupa. But I always pick off the tomatoes. Not because I don't like tomatoes, but I don't like Taco Bell tomatoes. I'm particular. What's your favorite folklore creature or cryptid? I love the phoenix. I love the idea of rising from the ashes. So, you know, maybe cliche, but I love the phoenix. Let's see. All right, what's your favorite gateway game you recommend? Honestly, I think my favorite gateway game, or something that I use to bring people into the hobby, my go-to is probably the Reckoners. And I do that for a couple reasons. I think one, again, it's like Pandemic, it has that cooperative nature. So if you're introducing people to a brand new set of mechanisms, a brand new, you know, kind of style of games, you know, something outside of the basics and the classics, I think working together goes really well with that. And because you can show that relationship with working with other people and how turns and dice rolls and that kind of stuff can balance each other out and work off each other, which I think sets them up for some deeper mechanics down the road, you know, when they have that engine building for themselves. You know, if they can see it in this cooperative nature, how one person works off somebody else, when they come back down to their own tableau or whatever, you know, where they're engine building, they kind of already have that concept. And I think the Reckoners, one thing that it really excels about is so many people have a connection to that through the books, you know, so it's a theme that you can also be like, you can tie to them. And, you know, so whether they've read the books or not, you know, if they're into superheroes, you can be like, oh yeah, it's like the anti-superhero, you know, so there's a lot of different ways you can sell it to people. And because of that, I think a lot of people can relate to it. And so that's probably my go-to. My first one to pull out a lot of times is the Reckoners, if I think, again, they're ready, because that is, you know, a little bit of a step up, but that's my go-to, and it's worked out really well. Do you have a game that you really want to try, but for some reason haven't yet had the chance? A lot of them, yes. But a lot of them are also getting checked off my list since working here. I'd say at the moment, probably, a lot of people keep telling me to try Scythe. And I think that's one that people think I'm going to like. And so it's one I want to try just to check it out and see, you know, that probably, but I don't want to learn it myself. So that'd be great. Someone will teach it to me. Chris, I did not forget. I don't know what it is you're referring to, but I didn't forget. Oh, Tom Hanks. What board game? I'm still thinking. I haven't forgot. Okay, I'm going to scroll really quick here. What are you currently reading? I'm currently reading a book. It's a book about learning, actually, and it goes through. It's nonfiction, of course, but it's a book about teaching you how to learn, you know, and the joy of learning, and kind of a framework of how to learn and how to best absorb knowledge. So anyway, I'm nerdy when it comes to my books, and I like a lot of nonfiction or things that have ties to real life, or like high fantasy. So yeah, right now it's a book about, I think it's called The Love of Learning or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Ask me next time. But yeah. Let's see. All right. Favorite books. Okay, I think this is, Anthony, this is again, sorry, back-to-back questions from you that I came across. Favorite books. Let's see. My favorite nonfiction book would probably be a book title that I can't remember, but I definitely know the book. So we'll go fiction first. Fiction, my favorite fiction book is probably Ender's Game. I love Ender's Game in And it's really, to me, it's an examination of the loneliness of being on an extreme. You know, I think we've all been in that position where we've been the dumbest in the room or the smartest in the room, or for some reason we felt kind of ostracized, you know, and oftentimes, and specifically in Ender's Game, it's that feeling of being put in a leadership position and how isolating that is. And I think there's a lot that can be taken from that, you know, just understanding these positions that we can be in and how isolating they can be, but how you can still thrive in those and have connections to other people. So I like that book. And my favorite I feel really, really dumb, for lack of a better word, that I can't think of my favorite nonfiction book. Anyway, I know it. It'll come to me as soon as I pick a game for a desert island. Do you prefer to add things to your games? Upgraded components, inserts, and sleeves. I am very picky about what games I add to my collection. And if I add it to my collection, I do want it upgraded. Again, I'm all about that experience. So anything that's going to add that experience. I do sleeve my games if it's one that I think I will that has a lot of shuffling in it, or I think later on, if an expansion comes out, I would add an expansion to, just because I had an experience once where 3 years later, I added an expansion and the cards didn't match because they were so worn out. So from then on, I was like, if it's a game I like enough that I would eventually maybe add an expansion to, I'm going to sleeve it. Or if it's that high shuffling. I have a hard time saying I'm a Potterhead. I do very much enjoy Harry Potter. I read the books as they came out. You know, I think I got the first one before the second one was out, and so then I followed the whole thing. So I definitely enjoy it. Don't know if I took a test on it, I would probably fail, but I very much enjoy Harry Potter. Do you find being a relative newcomer intimidating when compared to experience like Tom, Z, and the others have? Again, you know, not necessarily from a starstruck point of view. I mean, that's really just not my personality. I tend to try to see people as people, you know, before any other labels or titles. But I mean, of course, it's intimidating, you know. I mean, just like any new venture is, you know, especially when these are guys that I've looked up to, you know, for a while and kind of have gone to for I say advice, right? But game advice. You know, I've watched the videos, you know, that kind of stuff. And as what do I think about this game? You know, and kind of found my way into the hobby. So yeah, there is that little bit of intimidation. But again, my personality, I tend to be one that I'm always seeking growth, you know, and so intimidated. There's a little bit of insecurity, but then it's also just really exciting. Like, what an opportunity I have, and how terrible I would be to waste that, you know. So I think I do see it more as exciting and just really, really blessed to be part of that and have that experience, you know, that I can pull from. All right. No, I've not. Oh man, I'm really far behind on comments. Okay, I'm gonna speed it up here. But Camilla versus Destroy. One day, guys. One day I'll get there. Roy, I'm coming for you. Yes. A lot. You know, no, I'm not a Baltimore native. I'm actually from East Tennessee, and so you might hear the accent come out every now and then. But yeah, no. So Baltimore sports teams. No, I'm actually grew up closer to Atlanta. So you know, the Atlanta Braves, if we're talking baseball. You know, I really like the Titans if we're talking football, but then college football is more my thing. I went to the University of Tennessee, so go Vols, Vol for life. But you know, yes, I know that means I'm often on the losing end of things, but that's okay. Vol for life, good times and bad. Oh my gosh, hold on. I just realized who this person is. That's funny. The fewest points I've ever scored playing tumbling dice. 35. Thank you. 35 points. Yeah. So speaking of humility and playing against experienced players, that was a rough moment. What's the best game to play while in the water? Do you mean like board game, I assume? I don't know. I've not ventured into that territory. Maybe something chip theory games? I don't know, because they're waterproof and stuff. But if you mean swimming games, oh, I got a whole slew of those. But I assume that's not what you meant. Am I a gracious winner? I think this is tough. Would they say, my husband would not say I'm a gracious winner, but, he lies. So, would I say I'm a gracious winner? I think definitely not. I think I'm a trash talker. I think if the person knows me, maybe they would say I am, because they know 90% of what I say in jest. Like, I'm not one of those people where you have to wonder if I meant something. Like if I'm mad, I'm mad. Like it's pretty black and white. So if you're questioning if I'm meant something, I'm probably not that, if that makes sense. So I tend to be a little bit more of a trash talker. If you think that means I'm not a gracious winner, then I guess I'm not a gracious winner. But I 100% mean it in jest, because I've also been destroyed at games, especially first time playing something or something like that. So would they say I've been destroyed? I don't know. You'll have to, or am I a gracious winner? You'll have to ask them. Ooh, let's see. Axe or hatchet? Oh, let's see. Axe or hatchet? I have two hands, one of each. Oh, Aaron? Where was it? I don't remember. I'm sorry. It might have been FedEx Field. That'd be cool. Chris and I actually found out that we were on the same tour, different cities, but yeah, we went to the same concert. It was Godsmack, Metallica and Godsmack, right? Okay, I need to scroll away here. Sorry. Okay. Oh man, still talking. Eating Taco Bell right now? Ooh, I'm jealous. Sanderson fan. Haven't read much of him. I'm currently reading Mistborn, so really enjoying it so far. It's actually my second time trying to read it. Just life events and stuff like that. I always enjoy it. Got like halfway through the first book and then it dropped off. So about 3/4 of the way through the first book and really enjoying it. I have read the Reckoners series. Wasn't my favorite, but I also know it's one I've heard not as strongest, and I'm definitely enjoying Mistborn more. But yeah, so far I am a fan. Ooh. Would you rather climb a mountain, go deep sea diving, or go into the unknown rainforest? Climb a mountain. I'm a mountain girl. No, I don't believe that I will be part of the Merchants of the Dark Road review, but it is one that I am going to play. But I don't believe I'll be in that review. Hey, thank you, Gator Dave. I appreciate it. Oh man, we're talking about Ender's Game? I am super far behind. What board game themes do you like? I like post-apocalyptic. I like really, I guess, kind of dark or macabre themes like that. And then I love really nature themes. I love outdoors, and I think anything that kind of seems or sings to that, plays into that. But then I also love like just really dark and grimy, kind of themes, which can come in many forms, right? It can be aliens, it can be Space Marines, it can be dungeons. I don't know that I have a preference towards one of those specifically, but I definitely like things that kind of push that edge of being like, oh, that's kind of dark, but also awesome. So yeah, I'm not scared of Little Blood. Do you miss the seasons now that you're in Florida? No. I will say I lived in Baltimore for 6 years, and I went there. For anyone that's familiar with that Northeast area, there was a major the snowpocalypse, that came through 6 years ago. And I moved to Maryland the week after that. Like, there were still the mounds on the ground. They were just kind of like coming out of things, so I had a really hard time finding a house. But anyway, so I moved there the week after, lived there for 6 years, and I don't think we ever got more than a dusting, maybe half an inch once, and so I was really disappointed. And so then we move away, and they just got like 8 inches yesterday. So I'm so mad. So I do miss that, but also I don't mind traveling. I really enjoy. I have friends, all over the country, that I visit when we can, safely without COVID and stuff. But yeah, so I don't mind traveling for the seasons. I'm originally, like I said, from the South, so the humidity doesn't bother me. And I think I really love being outdoorsy, that it's something I can do year round. It's January and I'm still running outside, for heaven's sakes. That's amazing. I love it. So yeah, so do I miss it? Yeah, but I can also go get it if I want. And I'm good. I like being able to go outside. Was I scared to be asked to do a Q&A? No, because again, I think it's something that I can always say no to, Again, Tom just has a real fostering environment here, and if it wasn't something I was comfortable with, I wouldn't do it, and I don't think that anyone would hold that against me. So, no, and also, confidence is probably one of my biggest flaws. So, yeah. Natural Tash, do you enjoy reading rule books, or do you prefer how to play videos or have something taught? A little bit of all the above. Depends on the game. I don't mind reading rule books. I tend to, at least thumb through one. I enjoy reading rule books if it's a game that I really like and I'm going to maybe add to my collection. After I play it a couple times, I'll even reread the rule book just to make sure I have all the little nuances. I found a lot of rules mistakes that way. So I definitely don't mind reading rule book. In our play group, outside of the Dice Tower here, in my play group in Baltimore, I was the rule book reader and the game teacher. So it's definitely something I don't mind. And I would rather read the rule book than somebody I don't know read the rule book and teach me a game. Definitely always leaves me with questions. And yeah, a little bit of everything. Depends on the game and honestly how I'm feeling, how quickly I need to learn it, or how clear the rule book was. I'll use whatever resources I can. All right. Neutral Gnome, I've not played any war games. That is one that I haven't had the opportunity to. I wouldn't be for or against necessarily, just the opportunity hasn't presented itself. And again, one of those things that would be a clear one, like I need someone to teach me that. It's not something that I would want to tackle on my own. So that would be if someone will teach me one, I'll give it a try. I haven't yet. So excited to go on the cruise. So excited. I tolerate them with lots of glares, demeaning looks, letting him know what I think. Yeah, no. So his puns. Oh, how long until I'm out punning him? Hopefully, never. Hopefully, how long? Forever, because it will never happen. I'll let him have the win for that one. Haha. If you were to coach the Dice Tower swim team, who would be the anchor? Me. And who And who would be the anchor? Let's see. Oh man, who would be the anchor? Okay, we can't choose myself, right? The anchor, I would put my money on Roy. Yep, I think Roy would be my anchor. I think he'd have a good mind game for it, and he would definitely rise to the competition. I don't think he would let everything get to him. And who would be the anchor? I don't know. Who would be the anchor? You know, I'm not going to call anybody out. Oh, man. Oh, my gracious loser. So the other end. I think so. I don't know. It's a hard question to answer for yourself. You know, it's kind of like, are you humble? It's like, yeah, of course I am. I'm super humble. I'm super nice. Absolutely. You know, so am I a gracious loser? Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've never flipped a table, so yeah. How did you join the Dice Tower? I was part of the local gaming group here, and just kind of, you know, fell in line. Yeah, so I was gaming with them, and then the Spectacular was coming up, and Tom asked me to be part of it, and I said yes, and then he pulled me aside after like the second, maybe third day of it or something like that, and we had a talk, and he offered me, you know, to come in and start helping with some stuff, and I jumped at the opportunity. So yeah, so it just kind of stars aligned, honestly, just stars aligned. You know, like I said, that moving down here wasn't even on my radar. It has nothing to do with this. It was for my husband. So yeah, just opportunity presented itself, and I'm smart enough to say yes. What was my favorite event with the Dice Tower in 2021? Probably, I really enjoyed Let's Play It Live. It wasn't what I expected, or We'll Play It Live. It wasn't what I expected. I think, you know, it's supposed to be, it kind of became more formal as it went, you know, and so it did kind of morph as we went. But that was just a lot of fun because it was kind of low key. And just kind of hanging out together. And so I really enjoyed that. There was a lot of energy going around that We'll Play It Live. Really enjoyed it. I do keep track of my board game plays. For me, it helps if I go back, if somebody asks something about a game, just to be able to go back and be like, not did I win or lose, but okay, what was the point range of that? Who did I play with? Where was I? It just kind of helps bring more context, you know, when I'm asked about a board game, or if what was the name of that game that I really liked? Oh yeah, you know, stuff like that. So I do keep track, but it's more for that, just to kind of jog my memory when I want to find something. What made you so competitive in board games? Did you play sports? Yes, as I said, I was a competitive swimmer. I was also on the track team, and I have 5 brothers. So I'm pretty sure I was competitive from day one. Favorite party game for a new one? I really enjoyed So Clover. So Clover was so clever. Really enjoyed it. Oh man, that was a Chris Yee moment. I apologize. Internet, for that joke. But yeah, I really enjoy So Clover. And then just the other day, we had some teenagers, a youth group over at our house, and we played Imagine If, which is a old party game, but really enjoyed that one, just pulling out one of that, and just it kind of can bridge that gap between a get to know you game, you know, if you use fictional characters and not the ones there, but then so I think we played 2 rounds, 1 round with fictional characters they didn't know, and then 1 round like with each other, and it kind of just really facilitated that. So always a fan of Imagine If. Favorite spirit island? Oh, Thunder Speaker. Oh, I love Thunder Speaker. I like the spirits that have a lot of movement. I like control, and so I like being able to move and kind of morph as the game goes. So I really enjoy Thunder Speaker. I really enjoy Many Minds, Shrouds of Mist. I like those characters where the presence moves around through the board. But I'm pretty much always down to play any of them. So find me at any convention or retreat, and I will say yes. Stay tuned, Jacob. Be sure to check in on our Kickstarter. Yes, I have backed quite a few Kickstarters. I'm not the... in the office here, I don't back the most and I don't back the least. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Like I said, I'm really picky about what I'll add to my collection, and that doesn't mean it's just one specific kind. I do back a lot of, not kids games, but family weight games. I tend to take less of a chance on the heavier, crunchier games, just because my play group, specifically my husband, that's really not his play style, is the competitive, the Vita Lacerdas, those kind of things. So I do enjoy those, but that's not going to be my play group, so doesn't need to be my collection. So yes, I do back Kickstarter, but I'm very particular about what I will jump into. I think the last one, not the last one I backed, but the most recent one I received was Final Girl. Oh, that was a good one. Gray Fox, what got me in Twilight Imperium? Yeah, definitely no, not Twilight Imperium. Yeah, so again, I'd say maybe Pandemic. That probably that one. But again, it was past kind of the craze of it that I got into it. So yeah. Hey, Kabuki Kid. Yep, that's how far behind in the chat I am. All right, Roy, not that you'll watch this, but if you did, we have a 500-meter butterfly competition. I'm not sure I could do that right now, Monica. Whew. But yeah. All right, I'm going to skip ahead some here. Let's see. Yes, pineapple goes on pizza. If you like pineapple on pizza. To each their own. Me, I will eat pineapple on pizza. I have no problems. But if you don't like it, I'm fine with that too. You do you. Just don't come at me for me doing me. Ooh. Who is the cook in the household? Me. Well, I take that back. I am the cook, if you will. My husband does cook. He knows how to cook. He's good. He can follow a recipe. But as far as like comfortable in the kitchen, and kind of coming up with recipes off my head, printing a recipe and manipulating it as I go, that's definitely me. I'm more of the, I guess, kind of natural cook, but he definitely, through our marriage has had to pick up some slack, and some of my slack, in times when I get home late and that kind of stuff. So he's very competent and very generous in that. And it's something that we share. Do I prefer to store my games horizontal or vertical? I am back and forth on this. Currently they are vertical, but that's because just recently haven't moved in the last 6 years. They're all a mess inside anyway, and so before the move I went through and prepped a bunch. So I prefer horizontal because I know it's going to come out okay, but then there's always that awkward, like, oh, I need the game on the bottom, so you got to take 4 out, and that whole dance, and I hate that dance. So currently vertical, but who knows, man? I can't figure it out. Mark, no, I didn't see his video on how he puts games away. I'll have to check that out. Eric Martin. Where did you from originally? I said, where am I from? East Tennessee. So I guess I grew up in like Metro Atlanta, but then East Tennessee is what I call home. That's where I went to school, where I met my husband, where we lived, kind of established ourselves. So East Tennessee is home. Smoky Mountains, just home sweet home to me. Yeah, but then we've lived. Let's see. Since then, I've lived quite a few places. Since then, it's been 9 years probably since I lived there. So I still call it home. I still wish for it, but it's not in my future at this point. Do you like bowling? I'm not sure what 5-pin bowling is, so if that means that I don't know much about bowling, that would be correct. I do enjoy bowling, kind of like if people are going, but again, that's probably like once every 5 years. Like if I'm invited, I'll definitely go, but I don't seek it out. Yeah. All right, I'm kind of caught up in the chat here, I think. All right, so I think I'm caught up in the chat here. So any other questions, be sure to throw them in there. Let's see. So back to, two things I haven't answered, right? What game would I take to a desert island? For survival, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a game that would have any help. That would be any help like with the components or anything. Cardboard would be useless because it would be destroyed. I mean, yeah, of course, something with an axe, right? But what am I going to do with an axe that's like the size of my pinky? I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to be able to come up with that one. YouTube chefs that you watch. Same the cooking guy. I'll watch him. Sometimes he has some good stuff. That's probably the only one I watch. And I don't know why. I'm not really sure how I found him or why I watch him. But every now and then he pops up in my news feed, so obviously I followed him or watched him at one point. So yeah, Sam the Cooking Guy. I think it's the only one that I even know of. The most famous person I've met properly, shook hands with, talked to them. Probably Pat Summitt. I don't think anyone more famous than her. And even that's famous, like, if you follow college basketball. But yeah, I met Pat Summitt, had dinner at her house once. We'll go with that. Outside of that, Tom Bassel. What's my favorite upgrade you've added to one of your games? My favorite upgrade is probably in Spirit Island. We've replaced all the spirit tokens with 3D printed, I guess, kind of totems. And then my husband's gone through and painted them, like hand painted them all with different like symbols and that kind of stuff to represent the characters. So when you actually play, it's these totems that are individually designed. He designed them out to match the spirit. So I really like that. I think it again, that immersive experience, right? I love it. I'm all about that immersion. So I think that other than that, metal coins. I'm a sucker for metal coins. Anytime metal coins are in there, they're just so tactile, right? So pleasing. Yeah, Richard, that's exactly. I did just kind of appear one day. I just kind of appeared in Florida and then appeared to their game group. So yeah. So like I said, I was invited to the game group by Wendy, and then kind of fell in there and started playing there. And then Tom invited me onto one of the live streams, and just kind of have built from there. So yeah, I did just kind of appear one day, kind of as a special guest, and then it has kind of become into what it is today. And we'll see where it goes from there, you know. But yeah, so I did just kind of appear one day. It's kind of how it feels, you know. Yes, Mark, I agree. She is probably the greatest coach. And honestly, I mean, geez, I think even just in college basketball in general, you know, I think she definitely stands up there with some of the greats. And she is just, she's amazing. Or she was amazing, I should say. Zei? I don't know. Who are you? Favorite Winter Olympic sport? I love the Winter Olympics. I really like speed skating. I don't know why. I think it's amazing, just that aerodynamics, you know, and just everything is on pins and needles, you know, the way they really push the angles and just the physics behind it. You know, I love speed skating. It's probably my most watched. You know, Kenji, I think what's the best game to play as a couple, as your opinion? I think this really depends on the couple. You know, for my husband and I, we, like I said, he really lean more towards cooperative, or if it is going to be competitive, it's going to be something like Welcome to, like a roll and write, something where we're individual. Our play style together is not that direct conflict. You know, it's really who does the best with the same amount of information. You know, top score wins, but that I win by taking you down, that's not really his play style, so that's not the best one for us to play as a couple. But that's really going to depend on your couple, you know, and what each other likes. And so yeah, I think that's way too subjective for me and my couple. It's what works for us is either something cooperative where we're really, really difficult cooperative, but high levels of cooperation, you know, not we're just playing the same game and trying to make it work, you know, but something again like Spirit Island where it's you have to rely on each other and play off each other and things like that, or you know, like a Robinson Crusoe, something like that, or something where it's a little bit lighter, you know, Cascadia, we play a lot of Cascadia, we play a lot of Welcome to, again, something like that where we have either options that we're pulling from but not directly trying to hurt the other person. But yeah, so it depends on your play group or your couple. What's the other half? I do have pets. I have 2 dogs and they're the best dogs, and that is objective, not subjective. No, I do. I'm a huge avid dog lover. My husband and I are both allergic to cats, but so I do like the idea of cats, but can't personally have cats. I love my dogs. The bigger the better. I love my big fellas. Do I have any C-shaped furniture? I do not. What would you do with a C? I mean, I guess a chair could be C-shaped, right? At least J-shaped, I guess, more. But no C-shaped. Nope. When did I fall in love? You know, Charles, I think that's a different question because it has been asked how did I get into gaming, but when did I fall in love with gaming? I mean, I've been gaming, like I said, I think I first played Pandemic probably in 2013-14, but then didn't play it for a couple more years, you know, so it's like I've piddled in it, if you will, but really fell in love probably about 3 years ago, and that's when it's like, oh yeah, you played Pandemic, I played Pandemic, oh wait, maybe there's something more like that, you know, and kind of discovered it in this group of friends, you know, and so nobody really introduced me, it's like I discovered it, my husband and I discovered it with another couple, and that was really neat to see it grow together, and I think that it's funny, I still keep in touch with them, we've both moved away from Baltimore since then, and we both still are in gaming, you know, and it's been interesting to see since we've moved away to kind of see our interest almost split, you know, what we've each kind of specialized in because we started together. But we've definitely gone separate ways with our tastes, which is great, I think, because we can still have these conversations. Oh, have you played this? This is more in your realm. What do you think? That kind of stuff. So I'd say, yeah, probably about 3 years ago. And it was just this discovery with another couple. It was kind of our get to know you avenue almost. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love speed gaming. How big is my board game collection? Oh, I'm going to say probably 80 games. Yeah, and maybe, yeah, between 80 and 90 games, and probably a third, maybe pushing a half of those are family games, that we play with our son, something like that. Yeah, I'd say probably maybe a third of them are family games, that we play with our son. Not necessarily kids games, but more that, can be played with a younger family game. And then another, probably from there, maybe a quarter of the ones that are left are party games. I'm not a big party game fan, but we are involved in like some youth groups and stuff like that. And I think that those lend really well to that. And then from there, it's just stuff that me and my husband like. So yeah, it's probably definitely less than 100. Definitely less than 100 games. Meanest game you ever played and liked? Funny, I just played Radlands the other day, and that was one. By like the second turn, I was like, I am not gonna like this, because I played a card, and Mr. Z Garcia, also known as Zevil himself, he played something like took out my card. Like the round I played it out, took it out, and I was like, I don't like this game. But then I ended up really liking it, because I thought, anyway, whatever. I won't get into a review of the game, but I think that one in the moment felt the meanest. But I really enjoyed it at the end, once I kind of got over that, and once I learned how to be mean back, I just had to brace myself and man up. What kind of dog? Oh, guys, I will talk about my dogs all day, any day. So yes, I love dogs. My dogs are Great Weimers. So it's a cross between a Great Dane and a Weimaraner. So ideally, this breed has more of the lifespan of the health of the Weimaraner, but the low-key, chill personality, I guess, of the Great Dane. So yeah, so I have Great Weimers, and they're blue, so it's a really dark blue color, and they're just so handsome. I love them. Ooh, Saint Bernard. Never had a Saint Bernard. Ooh, a Spanish water dog. Ooh, interesting. Again, I'll talk dogs all day long, so I'll check it out. All right, I'm just going to go ahead all here. I think we are... All right, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back later this week. I think Chris talked about our top 2022 games we're excited for coming up, so that'll be on Thursday. And again, don't forget to check us out on our Kickstarter next week. We would appreciate your support so we can keep growing, keep doing things like this. So thank you for all your questions, and until next time, I'm Camilla Cleghorn.